Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable, and it is a great honor to introduce one of the leaders in our industry. It is Jason Beckett, who is the president of Proactive Dealer Solutions. Jason, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thanks, Ted. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Jason, you are really making your mark on the industry. You have for some time with Proactive, and now what you're doing with Brook AI. So I want to congratulate you because I have never seen such a focus as at this event on the need to address the phones. And my friend, you are doing that with Brook AI.
Yes, thank you, Ted. Yeah, Brook AI has been a huge success for us, and I think a great product, very timely with today's market needs.
I would agree with you. Now, I know you've been with Proactive Dealer Solutions for a while. Give us some background on that and how you started your career in automotive, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. So I've been at Proactive Dealer Solutions for 8 years now. Started off on the product and marketing side, took over as CEO, or COO rather, and then just recently took over as president. Wow. I started my career back in the day. I was working for BlackBerry many moons ago, and I was leading the location-based services team. So local search, maps, and navigation. And a little known fact, BlackBerry actually owned a company called QNext that at the time was producing the majority of head units in vehicles. And so that was really my entry into the automotive space. I left BlackBerry to join Proactive because I really wanted to be a part of a company that was, driving real change and without having to, go through a lot of corporate red tape. PDS was a small, nimble company. And at the time, PDS was working with a lot of the major OEMs to introduce the BDC concept into dealerships. And for a lot of dealers, that was kind of a novel idea to have those leads be handed off from the salespeople to have that were handling them cradle to grave, to really now introducing this BDC that will work alongside them. So it was a fun time. We really drove a lot of real change in the automotive world. And since then, we've continued to evolve.
And I think much like today, I remember the resistance between, having that salesperson who handled it from front to back to, possibly going to a business development center. And now I think the same thing is happening today. One of the things I enjoy about your company, Jason, is that you seem to have a lot of fun with it. What's your favorite part about the automotive industry?
Yeah, well, I think what attracted me to the automotive industry is that there's an energy in the automotive industry that really don't get anywhere else. And I think a large part of that's driven by the personalities in the automotive industry. The automotive industry has been known to be slow to change, lagging behind some of the other industries. But I think, automotive is really the industry that I think is really leading customer expectations. I don't know of any other industry where customer expectations is moving at a faster rate than any other industry. And so you have this problem where customer expectations are changing at a faster rate than the industry is. And I think that creates a lot of opportunity for someone or company to come in and solve some of those problems. There's a great quote that there's decades where nothing happens, and then weeks where decades happen. And we're definitely in the latter with automotive. COVID has really accelerated the automotive industry. Since COVID, I think the automotive industry has really leapt kind of a decade forward, where customer expectations are continuing to change. We have this world now where we're kind of in this convenience economy where consumers value simplicity, more than price. You look at DoorDash and Uber Eats, where we're paying exuberant fees and tips to have food delivered right to our door. That's kind of found its way into automotive as well. And why Carvana, Vroom, CarMax, and some of those other companies are doing so well, that's paved, that kind of convenience economy has paved the way for digital retailing. Consumers are now expecting the product to come to them. or in this case, to come to their driveway. So I think we're in this pressure cooker where, customer expectations are moving faster than the industry has been able to move. We've got these external factors influencing the automotive industry, like digital retailing and, EVs making their mark. And so I think it's an exciting time to be in automotive, and it provides a lot of opportunity to help shape the customer experience of the future.
Jason, what's been the highlight of your career so far with Proactive?
Yeah, so we were known as the BDC experts. We've gone in and we've set up about 4,000 BDCs across North America, and we've traditionally been a consulting and training company. And over the years, we've started to now transition into more of a tech-enabled services company, where we're coupling our technology with our training to deliver really meaningful change in how dealerships operate. And ultimately, that's changed our brand from being kind of the BDC experts to now the modern retailing experts. Over the last few years, we've developed a suite of software solutions to help dealers provide an exceptional customer experience while also driving profitability and retention for the dealer. And one of my proudest moments and products is really what we're building now with Brook AI, where we're combining technology and our training into a product that can help dealers operate more efficiently and automatically.
Jason, tell us, what is Brook AI? It almost sounds like she's a person.
Yeah, we do refer to her as a person, but Brook is automotive's first true digital voice assistant that can answer, handle, and appoint inbound service calls and book those directly into the dealership's scheduling tool or DMS. Basically, she's your best receptionist and scheduling coordinator. She's scalable and can handle any volume of calls. She follows the dealership's policies, business rules, so that every appointment is booked the way the fixed ops manager wants them to be booked. And she often outperforms the typical phone agent because she offers what technology does best, which is being consistent. So she's always shows up. She's always friendly, never misses a day, never has a bad day. And she always provides a consistent experience following the service drive scheduling rules.
Everyone, we're talking today to Jason Beckett, who's the president of Proactive Dealer Solutions. We're talking about a new technology called Brook AI. It's a digital voice assistant. Jason, tell us more about how this idea for Brook was born, and why did you build her?
Yeah, so we have a long standing history of working in the call monitoring space. So we track and record the phone calls coming into dealerships. We use artificial intelligence to score how those calls were handled. And we do that for two purposes. One, to connect more calls, and two, to convert more calls. So we want to make sure that how the calls are being handled, that we're providing training back to the agents on how they can improve to convert more leads. And when deals are mishandled, that we notify management so they can jump in and save the deal. And what we saw through that product was that there's on average 30 to 40% of inbound service calls are lost, dropped, or abandoned. And that's really been exacerbated with COVID and the Great Resignation, and dealers having a hard time trying to staff the dealership to handle those calls. But we know with a good store, we can get that fail rate down to below 10%. So we can easily recapture leads that we already had. And so we were sitting on a ton of data about how calls are being handled, both well and not. And we saw that about 75% of those calls coming into a service drive are routine calls. They're FAQ questions: when are you open, pricing, and scheduling appointments. And so we set off to answer a question, could we train a machine to handle these calls as well as our top performing agents that we were scoring? And that really was the beginning of Brook. And we launched that just around when COVID was taking off, and that was very timely to help for Brook to come in and help support dealers through that hard time.
Jason, your company has deep experience in the automotive retail space, unlike any other that I know. How is Brook different from other products that are on the market?
Yeah, well, I think first and foremost, we're a lead management and process training company. We've been, like I said, we've been in the industry for over 20 years. We've built over 4,000 BDCs. And so we know how leads should be handled and how our service drive operates. And so we've really built Brook around that. Our AI is built off of scoring calls for 10 years. So Brook is really built based off of seeing every scenario of what kind of calls come into a dealership. And I think lastly, and most importantly, building a digital voice assistant to understand and have an intelligent conversation about booking a service appointment was kind of the first step of the problem we had to solve. The harder problem to solve is making sure that those appointments are booked correctly and take into account capacity and scheduling rules. We learned very early on with Brook that we couldn't just start booking appointments and throwing them, at the wall for the fixed ops team, because that would create havoc in the service drive. So we worked very hard to build out the intelligence to give the power to the service drive to be able to configure all the rules around how Brook books appointments, ensuring that we take into account capacity and scheduling rules so all those appointments are booked the way they want.
I think your timing is excellent. Maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, even I wasn't quite ready, but now I am hearing left and right from people here at the roundtable that its time has come, and I want the phones answered. Finally, Jason, tell us, how do you define Brook's success?
Yeah, I think your point, Ted, is spot on. I mean, with any new technology, a lot of what we do right now is educating the market about how a digital voice assistant can help and support a service drive. So there's obviously reluctance with any new technology, and so a lot of what we've been doing is educating the market. I'm pleased to say that we are now working with 6 out of the top 10 dealer groups. Are now using Brook. We have over 250 active dealerships using Brook right now. And Brook's handling about 200 hours of talk time per day. Wow. Show me one other BDC agent that can do that kind of productivity. So she's booking about three appointments per minute during business hours. But when we look at success for Brook, what we're doing is kind of 2 areas that we focus on. One is called containment. So how well does Brook handle the calls from beginning to end without having to get transferred? And then ultimately, the other big success factor is appointment rate. And so what we see with Brook is only about 12% of customers request a live agent. Meaning that 88% of customers are willing to work with a digital voice assistant to book their appointment. Because at the end of the day, for the consumer, it's all about how quickly can I accomplish my task. That's customer satisfaction. How quickly can I accomplish the task I'm set out to do? And Brook can actually book an appointment in half the time that it takes an agent to book it, just because they don't have to work with so many different tools, the CRM, the scheduling tool, the DMS. Brook does that all programmatically and can do that in real time very quickly to accomplish what the customer is trying to do. And so our appointment rates, we monitor that performance, and she ranges anywhere from 40 to 80% on booking those appointments for the consumer. And that's really driven by just the environment of the dealership, right? The ones that are set up correctly of what vehicles they want to service, what services they want to offer, what their capacity is, what transportation options they want to offer. All that Brook uses to schedule those appointments. And the better that's set up, the higher that appointment rate. We have a great partnership with Xtime, and that gives us a lot of visibility into how Brook compares to, the service advisor scheduling in the service drive, the BDC agent scheduling in the scheduling tool. And what we see from that is that Brook actually, her show rate is just as high as the typical BDC agent. But what we notice is the dollars per RO is actually $30 higher than the average agent. And so our average dollars per RO is $437, which is $30 more than the average agent. And that's before one of our new releases that we just came out with, which is our scheduled maintenance and open recall edition. So now when a customer calls in to speak with Brook and book their appointment, Brook will actually check if they're due for scheduled maintenance and for open recalls, and will offer to put that right on the appointment. So Brook is really looking at the customer experience holistically and making sure we're handling all of the customer's needs when they make that initial call, so that when they show up into the drive, they're ready to get their vehicle serviced, and all those services are already accounted for.
Jason, those are big numbers, strong ROI, those dollars per RO. And when you take into account that Brook doesn't, as you said, doesn't call in sick, doesn't have a bad day, I'm likely that she will take the appointment even when the dealership is closed at night, on weekends, on holidays. That's a win-win, Jason.
Yeah, and what it really allows you to do as a dealer is to now take the staff that were handling those inbound calls and repurpose them to more of the proactive outbound calls, right? So we can drive more revenue into the dealership with those proactive campaigns.
My dealership is going to be available to take these service calls 24/7 and make sure that, as we've heard on numerous panels, sell a lot more hours, Jason, and make it a lot more profitable. Jason, I look forward to, as this continues to gain momentum, which it obviously has a lot of, having you back and, hearing more about the success of Brook AI and how she's doing. And congratulations to you, my friend. Great success at Proactive and at Brook AI as well.
Thanks, Ted. And for all your viewers out there, if anyone wants to try Brook out, the proof is in the pudding. So if you go to Brook.ai, we'll give you a phone number so you can really interview Brook.
Brook AI, everybody. You'll find a number of people here at the roundtable are already taking advantage and have Brook up and running at their dealerships, some big groups. And again, that integration, Jason, with X-Time is second to none. So that's a fantastic move that your company has made. Jason, on behalf of the Fixed Ops community and Fixed Ops Roundtable, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Ted.
Jason Beckett, everybody, the president of Proactive Dealer Solutions and Brook AI, here today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.